right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another exciting edition of Boiling at 100. I got my boy with me, a good friend of mine who I've known since high school, whose name is Josh Butler. He is an aspired boxer. He's into personal training, health, and fitness. And also, he has his own line, which is called Super Fruits, where he does freshly made fruit juices, detoxes, and all kinds of things. So at this time, I want to welcome him on our show. Josh, it's good to have you on the show, brother. How you doing today?
I'm good by yourself. Appreciate you.
Definitely.
Thanks for bringing me on the show, my man. Thanks for bringing me on the show.
You already know, man. You already know. Definitely, man. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I know that you are into boxing, the super fruits. You got a lot of adventures that you into. Like, I thought Terry was into a lot of stuff, but man, you into some stuff too. But I like it though, because it shows that your mind, like, you got a bigger vision for super than just boxing. But it's super fruits, and then there's the fitness training, then there's a boxing part of it. Yeah. So it looks like you're almost building an empire. I can kind of see there. So just go ahead and tell me a little bit about how the boxing started and how you got into all this other stuff.
Yeah, the boxing started way back in the day when I was like maybe 3 or 4. I started watching a lot of Rocky movies, watching Mike Tyson knocking people out in the ring, and just watching different stuff like that. I always been into combat. I wanted to box when I was a kid. My dad bought me a heavy bag. He bought me some boxing gloves. I just started hitting the bag on my own, and he taught me a little something along the way. But he never got me into the sport. So my dad was my first boxing coach.
Wow.
Showed me a little something. And then when I was 3 or 4. So I want to say maybe 22 years later. I think I was maybe 24, 25, 26. One of them ages, and I just started boxing my own. And
that's what's up.
That's how they got started.
That's what's up. And it's funny too, because growing up in school, I never saw you as like a combat. You look at people and he's got that look like, oh yeah, he liked to fight. Like, what I'm saying? You were always cracking jokes, and you were always clowning. So it's like I never seen it. So that's why I was kind of intrigued too when I seen the picture. I'm like, oh yeah,
snap. Man. I always been into I always wanted to learn how to do karate. I always wanted to learn how to do judo, boxing, anything in the combat. I always want to learn how to do. So I just started practicing on my own, and never got into it. So the first combat sport I got into boxing, so I just took it. I took it and went with it, trying to teach myself how to do capoeira.
That's what's up.
How to do Tai Chi and stuff. I always been into, I'm not just a boxer. I'm just, I'm into contact. Combat sports. I'm always into some kind of sport. It don't matter.
Right.
No matter what sport it is. I'm basketball good. I just got good defense. So what I do since I'm boxing now, I use my boxing energy. I would do like a lot of sprints and just sprint around the court, just use my endurance and just bounce around the basketball court just for a workout. And, any sport I do, I just implement boxing or some kind of combat into that, so that makes me all around athlete, I believe.
That's what's up. Hey, that's a great thing, man. To be an all-around athlete, that's a gift. That doesn't come easy. That's a gift. You know what I mean? Especially nowadays, like, the athletes, I believe today in sports they're more freakish because they can do anything. They can play all these different sports. It's not like how before where, you found out that one guy, he just played one sport, but now, they can do everything. They can box, they're into basketball, football, track and field. They conquer it all. So that's really cool. And so when you went into boxing, you get into any tournaments? You had any fights or anything like that? Like how's your boxing career? Let me ask that. How has your boxing career been thus far since you started?
Okay, well, I've been I went as far as make it to the U.S. men's tried out for make the U.S. Olympic team. I won 2 state Golden Gloves.
Okay.
And went and fought for nationals. And I was ranked 5th in nationals for the national Golden Gloves. And now I'm turning pro. Years later, I'm turning pro. I'm trying to get my first fight off ground now, because, I just feel like I have a lot of stuff in me that I still could give. So if I get a chance to, go back in the ring, that's what we're shooting for, trying to get my first fight. Trying to, come to something, see how far I can take my boxing, So if it don't happen, I got some little stars coming up that I'm training, and I'm gonna push them to go further where I went.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And that's a beautiful thing right there too, that you said, that if you not, do it, you got star pupils that you're teaching, you're sharing that wisdom, and you're sharing your talent with. That's a very important thing too, that we pour into this next generation. I'm all for that. You know what I mean? It's not just about us using our gifts, for ourselves, but at the end of the day, it's about how we reflect on this younger generation, and we teach them what we've learned. Just how we've learned from what our elders from before us have taught us. So I think that's really cool, man. That's really cool. And I see a lot of pictures. I always see a lot of pictures of you running those kids through them drills. Even today, I seen one on Facebook, and I was like, okay, look at him. I see you training, and that's a beautiful thing, especially now, because a lot of, young men, they need those role models. They need those role models to teach them how to be a real man. So definitely big ups for that, and the fact you want Golden Gloves, you've been in tournament, tried out for the Olympics, that's big, man. That's big. Yeah. And you said that you started around what age? What age was it you started around officially?
I'm trying to think. Was I 24? 24,
wow.
25? Yeah, around 24, 25 years old I started. I was just messing, learning how to box, mess around in the gym. And, one of my coaches was like, man, you got something, man. You should stick with it.
That's
I didn't think much of it, but now, what's that, 12 years later, it's starting to click.
That's what's up. So somebody saw potential in you and was like, yo, you got potential, and they helped you hone that skill, that gift. And now look at it, you're doing the same thing. I think that's so cool, man. And man, like that's talent too, because I've read up on like some I don't know a lot about the sport, but I read up about some boxers, and what I've seen is that most of them, their parents had them in fight camps like early, like 7, 8, 9. I mean, they fought in tournaments at 8 and 9, like, you know what I mean? So for you to step into that game at that age, at 24, you know what I mean? Like when most people at 24, they're probably in their prime. And then for you to do those amazing feats, that's like raw talent right there. That means that you definitely do got the talent and the skill, because most people would consider that late to jump into that,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That was crazy because I was looking around, like, I went to nationals for the first time. I was just looking around. I'm like, dang, I only got 12 fights. I had 12 fights at the time, my first national tournament. And I'm looking at these guys on my team, on Team Florida. They've been boxing since they was 4 years old, or they have way more experience than I have. I probably had maybe 2 or 3 years experience. And these guys been boxing forever.
Wow.
I'm like, damn, I'm out here with these guys. I've been boxing around for years and years since they're 3 years old. And the guy who I fought my first fight in nationals, he said he been fighting since he was 5 years old. And, we at the time was like 26 years old. And I'm like, dang. And I won against this guy. I'm like, wow, you've been boxing since you was a kid. I just jumped to the sport and I won. I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool,
That is, I mean, and I bet
My
it's a
whole
good
thing
feeling.
was, I was hungry, and I always think to myself, I'm like, dang, that'd be pretty cool. Josh Butler as a Golden Glove champion. I'm like, that sounds pretty cool.
Hey,
Just to hear that.
hey, heavyweight champion of the world, baby. Got
Oh
has
yeah,
a ring
man.
to it too.
Yeah, man. That's what we shooting for.
Hey, that's what's up.
Shooting
That's
for
what's
that.
up.
But that come with that's a whole other avenue right there. That's something that we gotta pray and hope the best that we get back on the ball with that one, because there's a lot of politics in that one. There's a lot of favoritism in that. And for me, at my age and what I did in the past, it's kind of hard for me to jump back out there and be like, hey, let me get a fight without having, the right people and the right amount of money behind me to pursue that.
Right. And it's interesting you bring that up because, excuse me, and I know we talked about this even before because, let's talk about that for a minute. Like, how is it, chasing that dream of trying to go professional, especially, I know there's things like sponsors and, money's involved. Like you said, politics, like in most things, the last guest I had on the show was my brother-in-law, and he was talking about the politics and, the preparation it takes to get to, into playing professional soccer. And it's different because it's not like high school where, you played high school ball, you got into college, you played college ball, and then you're looking for the draft and people are scouting you. For these type of sports, they're a little different because you're almost on your own in a sense.
Yeah.
So you really got to put in work or else you're not going to do anything. Like, tell us about that because I know that you've accomplished a lot in those few years, but I'm pretty sure it didn't come easy. So tell us a little bit about the preparation and that journey and what it's taken you, to get that.
Yeah, what it is, you have to make yourself an investment. You got to make yourself become an investment for someone. Somebody have to be willing to, be able to speak up for you. That's just, that's like any job or anything. Like, you got to show value. See, my coaches and my manager right now, they look at me like, man, you like a different type of guy. You're not a regular heavyweight to sit there and just trade blows with people. You're athletic, you move around, you're different. So it's hard for me to try to, say like, if I want to go out there right now to get a first pro fight, I have to fight some cat that probably got 20-some odd pro fights already, which is fine with me. I will do that. I will honestly fight somebody who have 20 fights right now because I have the experience, I have the mindset, I know what I'm doing. I'm not just going there to just be like some big mummy dude. Oh, I'm gonna throw blow. I'm gonna get mad. No, I have self-control, I have discipline. I have a lot of stuff that a lot of athletes don't have.
Right.
Huh? Yeah.
So you're not just a slugger.
Nah. I'm in there thinking more than anything. You probably think if you see me fight, you probably think I'm doing something, but all thing I'm doing is just trying to figure out what's going on in the ring, and so I can attack, win, go home, and pursue my career. That's it.
Right.
I'm always thinking.
That's what's up.
So I see you have to become an investment. You have to take care of your body. You have to work out. You got to take care of your body. That's how I came up with my business, Superfruits, because when I got injured some years ago, while I was getting ready to turn pro back in 2015, I believe, I had a pinched sciatic nerve. I hurt my hip.
Ooh.
So I was out for a while. So I was like, I can't box right now. I can't do nothing. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rehab myself by eating fresh fruits and natural stuff rather than taking all these medicines and trying to get steroid shots in my hip. So I did a bunch of yoga, ate a lot of fruits, vegetables, ate healthier, stayed away from pork, and you can look at me now, you can't even tell I had pinched sciatic nerve. A lot of people who have pinched sciatic nerve, they'll tell you, I have to go get a steroid shot or get something, take some kind of pills for it. Me, I'm working out, I'm perfectly fine. I don't even feel my sciatic nerve no more.
That's the
So that's how my business, Superfruits, came about. I went and started eating healthy. I got all those toxins, transferred my body, rehab my body, and just recover myself.
So out of a disappointment was birthed another avenue, so to speak, in the Super Legacy.
Yep. Yep.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, and it's really funny how it works out because, I once heard this in a movie that, sometimes the road that a man takes to escape his destiny is the same road that leads him to his destiny. And sometimes we plan in life and we think, okay, this is where we're going. And so often what I found out, and me being, a spiritual guy, being a Christian, believing in God, and also, a praying man when it comes to life and making decisions, I've always found out that sometimes where I was going, it was just the road taking me to the vision. And a lot of it, and this is what I'm telling a lot of young people now, is you got to trust in the process, because there is a process. And a lot of times...
And by the way, that's water, y'all. That's water. That's nothing else, but that's only water. No soda, nothing like that. Ain't nobody...
Hey, that's good.
Water, y'all.
Listen, I got the water here, so I'm trying. I got the water here. I'm trying to get back on it. But, that's what's up, though, man. Like, that path led you there, and look at that. Just from a setback, something else was birthed out of it, and now you're helping others through that setback. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure that even though, and you like, it's motivating hearing you talk about it. It really is. But I'm pretty sure that there were some down moments. Like, you get those things, you got people talking in your ear, you got people probably, you probably thinking like, man, is it over? Is this it? So to have that mindset, and just to kind of go at it full frontal is that's amazing. But did you ever have doubts? Did you ever have like moments where you were just like, nah, man, like, I don't know if it's going to be the same again?
No, I don't have doubts. I just get paranoid at times. I just get paranoid in a situation, but like coming as a kid, I've been let down a lot. I learned to deal with that. I can't let people bring me down, I try not to let other people control my destiny. I try to control my own destiny. And I still learn and start working on that every single day. Right now I can't get no pro fights. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep pushing. It's gonna happen. Well, I'm gonna find a way to get a fight. I'm gonna find a way. If nobody can do it for me, if I don't do it for myself, then I'll be like, okay, I can accept that. But I'm not gonna leave nothing in somebody else's hands. But look, I tried to. They tried to do a fight, but I can't get that. I have to do it myself.
Right. That's
with my super fruits, with my super fruits, I'll be like, well, I'm gonna start my own business. I never thought that Josh Butler would be a business owner. That was pretty cool, That's like,
Listen, it is cool, man.
That's pretty cool. I got my own business. I never thought that. I mean, I'm thinking about like who else around me has their own business. But on one of them, that's pretty cool.
That's what's up. So, I've seen it. I remember when you came. I remember we had that little fellowship. We had that little outreach we were doing. You came there and you had the super shirts, man. You had the logos, man. You had the cards and everything, and you know what I mean, like, and you gave like some pointers and stuff, and you were just kind of like helping them through that. And I'm like, yo, that's what's up. So I'm like super fruits, the training, and on top of that, everything's funneled towards the boxing and whatever you can get into at this point, right?
Yeah, but see, it comes together. It's not like I'm just doing a whole bunch of things. It all comes together. To be a good athlete or be a better person, what do you have to do? You have to eat better. You have to treat your body as a temple. You have to put the right foods, juices, water, whatever in your body to do anything, to keep your mind clear.
You're right.
If you get your brand new 2021 Corvette, what you gonna put that cheap gas in? You gonna put 8 or 9 in your gas? You gonna put the Walmart brand oil, or you gonna put the Walmart brand oil in there?
Man.
Keep it going. Nah, you gotta give it the good quality of stuff to keep it going. So you gotta treat your body for you to get that $1 million car, a $1 million house, or whatever you want to get, or if you want to find happiness, that's the most important thing. If you want to be happy,
right,
with anything. You can have a little shack, but as long as you're happy with that shack, you got to keep your body up to go get that shack. You have to keep your body in great health to go get what you need so you can be happy.
Powerful words. That's powerful. You're right. And, the body is a temple, and it's really funny because, the body's made up of three different things. The spirit man, the mental, and then we got the body, the physical. And sometimes a lot of people, they focus on those two, but they forget about the physical part of the body, that we got to watch this temple too. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm like, man, I need to get back into it too, man. Because
I advise everybody, because what everybody want to do, they be like, dang, I gotta work. If I don't work, I don't get paid. I'm like, hey, if you get sick or your body get broken down,
they're gonna find somebody else.
You gotta take that break. You gotta take breaks. You have to take care of your body, because for you to take care of your bills and all that, you gotta take care of your body so your body be happy and go out there and get what you need.
Yep, you're right.
See, but think it's tradition. Our parents was, our parents, our grandparents, everybody was, they have a million hours of sick time. You got sick time at your job, but they never want to take what they want to do. They want to save that money to when they retire, then they get that check.
Yeah.
But your body all broken down. You broke it out mentally, you broke it out physically, because you're able to take care of your body. And now, since you left that job, you don't have insurance, go get yourself checked out.
Man, I'm telling you.
Why won't you just go and take care of your body so you keep your engine running? That's just like driving a car with no oil in it. You keep putting gas in, but ain't got no oil in it.
That's true. And I think the just that philosophy alone, like that's wisdom that comes in age. That's wisdom that I remember talking to my father, and he used to always tell me when he was older, he was like, Nathan, whatever you can do, take care of yourself, make sure you do it, because man, you want to be old like me and going to the doctor. And even in his old days, that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to take care of himself. And he was like, one day I'm going to be off these pills, and I'm going to be, and these medications, and I'm going to eat right and eat healthy and herbs and stuff like that. And, that was his wish. I mean, praise be to God, he's in glory now and he ain't got to worry about none of that. But we still here, and every day I think about that, even with my health. So that's really that's a lot of wisdom right there that you got, and that just talking to you about that's that all around wisdom that I think is going to make you an awesome fighter, because to me, fighting is much more than just being able to go in there and throw a couple hands and do that. The young cats want to go in there and throw some hands and think they're special because they got a KO. But being a fighter is more of like it's like 90% mental. You know what I mean?
It's an art. I tell everybody, it's an art. It's not about you going to beat up everybody. I mean, if you think you're just going to beat up everybody, better guess again, because you got somebody out there that's very intelligent in that ring. Right. That's just like, this is an art. I mean, I know I take care of my body. I'm doing this, so you thinking, okay. And it's funny, I talked to my mama 2 days ago, and she said something to me that was pretty cool. She was like, I was talking about fighting and stuff, and she said something, and I was telling about how one of my sparring matches went, and she was like, Johnny, son, you don't want to just go out there and just start playing around. And she think me, I'm just like, so she only see me fight one time when I first started boxing, so she think I'm just a headhunter. I just go in, I'm just start throwing punches. I'm like, no, I'm not that type of fighter. So she was like, they'll do it like one of your favorite fighters, Muhammad Ali. She was like, you play football, you tough. You've been in this game for a long time. So if somebody come at you, trying to fight a certain way, let them feel like they winning. You can let them feel like they're winning, but you know how to move around the ring now and beat them later. She said do the rope-a-dope. That's her favorite thing, the rope-a-dope.
Yes. Yep, you gotta lure them in.
So just sit there, wait, just be patient. And when it's your time, now it's your time to get that win. Yeah. So it's funny that she said, because she only saw me fight one time.
Right.
But I guess in her spirit, she know that I know a lot more than I did probably 8 years ago.
I mean, it shows, man. I mean, you know, I remember when I was taking up, I wasn't really taking up boxing, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I was trying to learn the art, and I was teaching myself through videos. I had a punching bag, and you know, I was training with a couple friends of mine. We were teaching ourselves, but the most of the teaching we learned was in taking care of our body. Number one, being healthier, what we put in, not eating those kind of bad foods, you know. And I gotta tell you, man, that year when I was doing that training, I was some of the years I felt so good. And when I went, you know, after we stopped doing that and I decided to go back to the basketball court, I mean, I even felt alive on the basketball court like I never felt before, because that training that I had was like, it was top superior. And I'm just like, yo, like this is really good. And, you know, even now I'm sitting here like, yo, maybe that's what I need to do is go back and do the fight thing again and start doing that again, because, you know, you learn so much from it. It's not just fighting, but you there's a piece. And the way I can only explain it is almost like samurais, how these guys are total BAs. Like, you know what I mean? They are completely just straight up fierce fighters, warriors, but there's a peaceful, calm nature to them that when you learn the art of Bushido, it means perfection, and it means everything that they do is perfection. So they live their life in perfection and all these things, but yet there's some hardcore fighters. You would never think it just watching them day to day, but they are. And I've watched a couple documentaries, and every time I see that, it reminds me of boxing and combat sports, because it's that same lifestyle, you know. And it's just an awesome thing, man. Like, and let me ask you this too, you know, because you know, right now on the news, obviously there's a lot of people boxing. Like, so we got Anderson Silva. He just knocked out Tito Ortiz the other day in a boxing, you know, after he retired from the octagon. And then of course everybody, you know, knows what's going on with the Logans stepping into the ring and all this kind of stuff. Man. And you know, all these money heists, you know.
Total mockery to the boxing game. They pretty much exploiting the boxing game big time. You got a little bit of money. You got a little bit, just like what I said earlier. You gotta have a little money behind you. If you got some money, if you got a whole lot of money, you can fight the number one dude. You can fight anybody in the boxing. Now you got some of these guys out here been trying to fight for the belt for years.
Right.
They just want to fight the best. But
see, that's a struggle.
Like, you know what? I got $50 million from YouTube, whatever. Let me just go ahead and fight the best. I'm like, well, shoot. Let me just go ahead and you know what, Nate? Let me get a YouTube video. I go fight Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury on my first pro fight. How awesome would that be?
Yeah, I know, right? You know, but it's crazy, because like when I hear you talk about like money is and I'm like, yo, it really is, because you know, here you are, you're putting in, you know, real work. You got those real, and you got people out there who, you know, and I'm not.
Yeah, those days are over. Those days are over. Those days already happened where people fought to get up to the top. Not everybody at the top. Money is scarce right now because of the pandemic. Nobody trying to miss out on no money right now. Everybody, what they do right now is build up the money, try to get money.
So it's safe to say the game of boxing has changed. Like, the challenge is different than what it was years ago. Now it's more of a money game, and it's more about hey, if you can put the money up, we'll fight. Rather than that, I don't really care. That's crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy. So I mean, how is that, knowing that, you know, you seem that you know, boxing is you do it for the love of the sport. You love that, and you have that. Like, how does it feel, like, knowing that, like, because I know me, and I know there's some things I'm passionate about. And when I see that people are taking advantage of it, and just because they got money, that's the only reason why they succeeded, it makes me upset, because I feel like me, I'm passionate. I'm doing it from the ground up. And just because these guys out here, they got a little, they got a couple bills and they rub them together, they jump in the line. Like, how's that make you feel? Like, how you feel about that? Like, what's your philosophy on that?
I mean, it's, it is what it is. It could get you discouraged, and it's crazy. And how I feel about it, I feel it's just a business. It's a business. It's a business. So, I mean, that's how they want to keep it. I mean, if they want to keep it that way, the sport gonna die out. And then once the sport become desperate for money, they're gonna reach out to people who actually can fight, the talent to bring excitement. Because all sports, pretty much anything in this world is all about sales. Any company that you see, they build an empire off of sales. They have to sell their stuff to somebody else. So an athlete have to sell their stuff. So if you don't have that many athletes out there, you have to fight somebody.
Right.
If this fighter get all this money and be like, okay, well, you just keep on just giving this guy these fighters these fights. People ain't not gonna pay to see that. These people gonna pay. Once people learn to pay, to stop paying for these little rinky-dink fights or whatever, they gonna start like, okay, well, we need to get these top fighters to start fighting again. That's when it's gonna change over. When they'll be like, okay, we need these top fighters to bring in more revenue, because the people who actually, the promoters in the game, they'll be like, I'm starting to lose out of money. I ain't getting no more money. I can't feed my family. So I need to go ahead and get this fight on the go. Let me get this championship fight what everybody been asking for. Why everybody trying to look for that extra, millions of dollars? I'm like, hey, you only can stretch them so long,
Right. It's true. The pandemic changed everything, I think, and a lot of people, both as creators and musicians, athletes. The pandemic, it didn't do any of us any favors, and
like every athlete, like, especially with football, I see the stands flooded with fans right now. They people actually need, just like when what was that, the NBA, when they sat back, cause I guess something happened or whatever. I guess it was like police killed somebody, whatever. So all the whole NBA they went on a strike.
Yeah,
and I remember that. They was like, if y'all don't play, y'all get suspended. But everybody came together and didn't do it. So they was like, okay, I lost out. The NBA commissioner was like, okay, y'all won this one, but y'all dress up for the next game, because I really do need that money to keep coming through,
Yeah. And it's funny too you say that, because Andy Mineo just dropped a song. He just dropped a freestyle I think it's called like the MFJ freestyle. And in the video, he talks about that, and he talks about how a lot of these companies, how they, they did publicity stunts, but they didn't really care about people, but they were just trying to keep their pockets, basically. They were trying to keep their pockets. And I mean, I don't want to get too much in the territory, because I know that it was a crazy period in our time when, with the riots and the marching, the protests and everything like that.
Yeah,
it was a lot of craziness. And so, I mean, I won't get too much into that, but I did see it where, I mean, anywhere from video games, a lot of these companies were doing stuff to show their support, from Call of Duty, putting up a little black screen and their statement. NBA 2K did something where they were giving your player free shirts that said, I can't breathe and stuff like that. And, it's kind of interesting. And on one hand, you're like, wow, it's really cool that these companies would do that. But then on the other hand, it's like, I mean, what'd you expect? They know that they're gonna lose out if they do that, if they don't jump in. So it's funny you say that, and I mean, we can only hope that when it comes to sports that it doesn't become like that. And it's funny because I'm a big fan of WWE. I've always been since from when I was younger.
Oh yeah,
and,
man.
And I think it's
I
hilarious.
grew up watching wrestling too.
Yeah,
Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
Has to be hands down The Rock.
Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
The Rock. The Rock.
Oh yeah.
The Rock.
Man,
he is hands down my favorite.
Yeah, I always loved my boy, the Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior was good. He was good. He was really good.
That's my dude right there, man.
I mean, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, you know what I mean? Like, these days, like, I'm a Roman Reigns fan, you know, Biggie Langston, you know, shout out to them. Biggie just won the championship the other night, so he goes down as, you know, as another black champion to win a WWE championship. So that's really dope. You know, congrats to him again. But yeah, I love wrestling, and it's funny when I hear people talk about wrestling, like, oh, wrestling is fake and da 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 da, and I'm like, it's funny you say that, but what do you think all these other sports are doing? What do you think they're doing? Don't you think they're taking some of what WWE is doing and they're doing it a little bit? You know, when I was younger, we never used to have. Because when we were younger in sports, there was no Twitter, there was no social media. So you got to think about it. In order to get somewhere, you really had to work hard for it. Like, it was based on seeing and touching. It wasn't your social media profile. Nowadays, like, man, if you got good fingers, you could Twitter yourself into fame. That's all it takes. And I find it hilarious when people talk about it like WWE, and I'm like, well, look at it. Look at what all these professional sports are doing. Look at every athlete is on social media making controversial things, and all they're doing is they're building it up.
Entertainment.
Yeah, it's entertainment. It's a cash cow. You know what I mean? It's like the topic about, you know, who's the GOAT of basketball. You know what I mean? They're keeping that alive. Why? Because it's something. So when I look at that and I'm like, isn't that little WWE? Isn't that what WWE did? Don't they put a little sauce in the atmosphere and create like a little dysfunction, and we go off of that? You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, behind closed doors, everything's all good. That's the same to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it really is affecting sports. And when you talk about boxing, I do remember. The last boxing match I saw was that Wilder Tyson fight, and when I seen him come to the ring, in his ring when he had on the mask and everything, I'm like, what in the world? Y'all can't tell me.
I'm like, what they do? I'm like,
you can't tell me that this is not like WWE. Dude had a ring entrance and ring gear and everything, and I'm just kind of looking at it like, this is crazy. The fight before that,
be like that.
Yeah, I saw the Pacquiao fight.
Prince Nassim Hamed, he used to come out there like people used to come out with the most crazy. Now, if you thought that was bizarre back in the 90s, these cats used to come out here with, get carried out like a king. Like, people had them on their shoulders, and they sitting on the chair with a crown on, get walked out to the ring. I'm like, you crazy.
Listen,
but hey, it's all entertainment. Cause I tell you one thing, if I was to get a good fight, whatever, I'm gonna come out to a couple inches like that too.
Yep, I'm gonna do the same thing.
I might do me an Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior inches. I probably just run to the ring and do something like what he used to do.
Yep.
But it's all entertainment. You know, that's what brings. That's what brings. You know, so you have to spend a little money and make some money, but you have to find yourself attractive.
Right.
Like, you know, most these fighters now, they'll come out there with a video with a rap on their side, walking out slow. Me, I wouldn't do that because that seems boring to me.
You want to live it up a little bit.
Yeah, I liven it up a lot. You know?
See, I am that hoodie type guy. Like, I am that hoodie. Like, it's funny because, like, I was always thinking about that.
I'm getting ready for a boxing match. I don't want to walk to the ring mad and all stiff. I'm getting ready for a fight.
You'll be loose, right?
Show for everybody. Yeah, I want to be loose. I want to bounce around. I want to, be excited too. Hey, y'all come to see me. Y'all excited to see me. I'm excited to see y'all. I want to put on a show. You know, that's the energy. You know what I'm saying? Take it over.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I like that. Yeah, man. It's like, It's like the Creed movie when he came out when he came out in Creed
with his
2.
wife,
Yeah, man. When she was rapping, when the lights
that
came,
was
I was
dope.
like, yo,
That was
like
dope.
I would if I were to box, I'd come out to this song too. I
Yeah,
was like,
that song was
that's
dope.
on point.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
on point. So I get it. You
Mm,
know, I get it. I ain't knocking them. You know, it's entertainment and we all love it, you know.
yeah,
I
it's
think what it
crazy,
is
man.
that it just changes the nature of the game. And you know, like anything else, even though we don't like it, we just have to evolve. We gotta make changes and you
Yeah,
know what I mean? Things may not always be at the purity level we think, but we gotta adapt and make changes, and that's what the name of the game is, you know. And I'm pretty sure
yeah.
you've made some changes to yourself, and you know what I mean. You have to adapt, you know what I mean, and you know how have you had to adapt to this new culture of boxing, so to speak, you know, and just with everything going on, like how is that? Because I think that's what I was getting to, and I'm glad that me and you got into it in depth. But with this whole with the whole money thing and just how everything is, you know, how are you adapting to that new way, that entertainment? Are you still kind of in the old days doing it that way, or are you adapting? Like, tell us a little bit. How have you been dealing with that kind of change and and going
I'm
forward?
learning. I'm learning how to. I'm learning. And I'm gonna take a step out. I'm gonna fly to a couple gyms, and to showcase myself. I'm like, hey, this is what I got. You know, I'm a heavyweight. This is what I got.
That's what's up.
Showcase myself. I'm like, look, I have a manager. I have a couple coaches. This is what we're working with. If you like what you see, I put my resume on the table. I'm like, well, what can we do with this? What can we do with this? And that's why I say I want to make myself an investment.
Right.
The right person will come along and see if they figure out what like, okay, well, he's gonna be a good investment. If I do this, he guaranteed to do this for me. Then we're gonna make it. So we're gonna make him worth something.
That's what's up. You know, and so for sponsors, they do sponsor still?
Huh?
For sponsors, like do you still like reach out for sponsors, or how does that work? Like the sponsors
Yeah.
come and they just say, hey, we want to sponsor you, or is it where you're kind of going to them and you're saying, hey, can you sponsor me, and tell them your story? Like, I don't know like how that works.
Yeah, you do kind of both. If you want somebody, I kind of like, go to people that feel like, they have a little faith in me. Just sponsor me, two sponsors I asked, and they was glad to sponsor me. I was like, yeah, you shouldn't even have to ask, They were like, if I could do anything, we do anything, make each other work. And then my last sponsor, he offered to sponsor me. So, we were just talking, and I told him who I was, and, he kind of got to feel who I was. And he was like, hey, I'd like to sponsor you. I was like, okay, that sounds cool. We can do that.
That's so
that became my new sponsor. It just, it kind of working both ways,
Right. That's what's up. I mean, that's good though, that at least that people noticing you, what I mean, that you do have sponsors and everything like that. Because I know that that's like a huge thing, like, is being able like to, carry those restaurants and stuff and have them and let them know that, hey, I got you in mind, and if anything happens, I'm giving you a shout out. You know what I mean? That's always been like the good way of doing it, sponsors and everything like that. And not only that too, but nobody has ever tried to climb the top by their own. You need help, and those sponsors, sometimes they're willing to donate to that cause, especially if they see that, you got a future in it and they believe in your story and they believe in who you are as a person, as an individual, and what you laying down on the table. Then yeah, absolutely, they're gonna do that.
I feel like, me, I just like to surround myself around, I have faith in myself. So my sponsors have to have faith in me as well. We have to believe in each other. So I like to surround myself around people like that in general. I don't just want to just go out and just start asking to people who I know, and or either it's people that we talk, we get a good vibe, have faith in each other, and we make something happen.
That's what's up. And I like what you said. I think in coming up, and that's something too that I wish these young people too would learn. And that's something maybe we got to teach them, is that it matters who you surround yourself with. It matters who you have in your corner, because you're only going to be as good and even better as those in your corner. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to get better, you know what I mean, you got to surround yourself around people with that mindset, who have that go-getter mindset. You know what I mean? You can't surround yourself around people who don't want to do anything.
You put on Facebook. Yeah, I like that post you put on Facebook. With what was that? The pears and stuff like that. It was like, you don't want. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like that.
It's true though. Like, and if you ever check fruit, all it takes is one rotten one to spoil the whole basket. You know what I mean? Yep. Good fruit can't make rotten fruit good, but rotten fruit can make good fruit bad. That's crazy. So it just proves, I've always been a person of that mindset, is like, and I see people out there, good people, and I tell them, like, yo, if you want to change your life, it starts with who you surround yourself. It starts with your circle. You know what I mean? You can't get nowhere if you still hanging out with the same people that are not trying to get anywhere in life. They're not trying to uplift. And I'm not saying not to be loyal to your friends. You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes we take the word friend out of context a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I look at the word friend like, if we're friends, you're going to be there for me. You're going to support me in what I do. You're going to try to lift me up. But if I'm trying to do better and you're going to talk noise, then that's not a friend. That's an acquaintance. That was a long-term acquaintance. And so many people forget that they have a lot of long-term acquaintances and few friends. And that's what it comes down to. So when you surround yourself with the right people, the right group of guys, and, the right people who are real friends, you know what I mean? They're going to take you places. It is not just about supporting you and telling you the good stuff you need to hear, but when you messing up, they're there to look at you. And that's the number one thing. They're there to look at you and sit you down and say, hey, bro, you messed up, man. Nah, you went about that the wrong way. Like, this is what you should do. That word is called accountability. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's when you got good friends, you got good people, you surround yourself, is that accountability. And that's what these young people, that's what they need today, even. A lot of these young men growing up. So that's why I think it's so awesome what you're doing for some of these young, these young guys. You taking them in the gym and you showing them accountability. You know what I mean? You teaching them how to be smart, how not just to, go flare off an emotion, but to think and concentrate on what they're doing. And that is such an awesome thing. That's one of the things that I've learned. I can say I learned in that boxing training was to think, to take a minute and breathe. Not breathing was the most important lesson I learned. Like, breathe or you'll defeat yourself. And that lesson you can take anywhere in life. If you don't breathe, then you just don't suffocate out there. You got to breathe, So I think that was really powerful, man. And like I said, it's just an awesome thing what you're doing for the kids, and all around, like, super fruits, helping people, and you're sharing of yourself, lessons that you learned, things that you did, and you're sharing that. And that's an awesome thing, man. I really like that a lot.
Yeah, appreciate it. I appreciate it.
And it's, man, let me tell you, in this day and age, we need it all so much, brother. We need it all so much, and like I said, you're on a great path, man. And I know that you're going to be there. I know you're going to get that fight. I'll be there when you get that title ship fight. Just let me know. Keep me posted so that way we can be there to support you. I also want all my followers, on here. Follow this guy here, Josh Butler, Super Beatdown, Super Fruits, support good people. That's what the show is about. We're helping to support good people, lifting up good people, and we want to build a community where we encourage each other, and we tell each other, like, listen, I see you. We encourage each other and say, hey, listen, I see you, I see what you're doing, and keep up the good work. So that's why I wanted to have you on the show, just kind of tell you that, brother. So it's been awesome having you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, this has been a great talk, and even better from the first time we did it. So, this has been a great talk, and I really enjoyed it. And just before we sign off for tonight, is there any final words you got?
I just want to, if I can help anybody out, give some encouraging words. Just say, like, whatever dream you have or whatever you want to strive for, go after it and don't give up.
That's right.
When I say don't give up, just don't give up. But during your journey of not giving up, be smart about it. Don't just say, I can't give up, I can't give up. Be smart. Sit back, think about what can I do different to get to my dream. Think about it, research. Be smart about it and achieve your goals so you be successful. And whatever you want to do.
Wise words. Spoken like a true champion. And last but not least, before you go, are there any sponsors or anybody you want to give special shout outs to before we go?
Yeah. I want to give my sponsors JKO, Just Keep On. My sponsor, Dexter's and Lake Mary, and my new sponsor, Recuperate Active Recovery Studio. My sponsors right there. I want to give a big shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all for all y'all do for me.
That's
I can't thank y'all.
Oh man,
I just want to put on display what y'all doing for me. I appreciate y'all. And I appreciate my manager Dorian Beaupierre, and my boxing coaches, Coach Ed and Coach Carl. And Dorian is also my coach as well. I appreciate y'all for what y'all doing for me. It's a blessing. The journey is shaky right now, but hey, we're gonna pierce through, we're gonna penetrate through, and we're gonna get there. So we're gonna be all right.
That's what's up. Amen to that. Amen to that. Well, Josh, I believe in you. I believe in you, not just as a friend, but just hearing your heart and just hearing, how you think and everything. You got it, brother. You got it. And I think that, you're going to be taken real far. And as long as you just keep that mindset, and like you said, don't quit, but keep fighting, which happens to be one of our slogans. Right now, you are what we call, you are boiling at 100 right now. And that phrase simply means that you're on top of it, man. You're there. So just keep believing yourself, keep doing everything. Thanks for coming out to the show. To all the listeners out there, please support Josh.
Brother. I appreciate it.
Definitely, brother. You know it. And I want all the listeners to support you, to keep up to date. Check out Super Fruits and Super Beatdown for more updates and everything. And then Super Fruits, hey, there's contact information on that Facebook page. You can go ahead and look them up too and put your order in if you see something you like. And Josh will take care of it. All right.
So I appreciate that. I appreciate everything.
Hey,
yes,
man.
Sir. We're going to get it popping.
That's what we're here for. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Well, we're signing off for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I want to thank y'all for joining us. And then thank you again to our guest of the hour, Joshua Butler, future Hall of Famer, future heavyweight champion, light heavyweight champion. We're going to give him all the divisions. We're going all the way. What I mean? All right. Well, we thank you for being on the show, brother. God bless, man. Have a good night. Signing off.
Yes, sir.